Well, I'm 62. Portages are getting tough. I'm getting old. Happy birthday to myself. I thought to celebrate, I would do something on social media about a great event that happened when I was 58. Dennis Rogers from the Canoehound Adventure Show, that one right there, he decided to roast me. I went, yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'd like to be roasted. And a whole bunch of people came on and made fun of me and made some comments. It was great. But then money went to a charity called Project Canoe. And it's a canoe-based camp out of Toronto that takes youth at risk out on canoe trips. And yeah, we raised a bunch of money for them. And I thought, I'm just going to get the good bits and edit it together for today and show you some funny stuff. Because last night I watched the whole thing. I forgot all about it. And it was funny. It was really funny. The winner was Tim Foley. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. Second was my partner Christine at the end. Hilarious. So watch this.
Hey, it is the birthday boy himself, Mr. Kevin Callan. How you doing, buddy? There we go. Well, before we rake you over to Coles tonight, I just want to propose a quick toast to you. Happy birthday. Damn, 78 years. That's awesome.
Oh, jeez.
We're going to be bringing up our roasters tonight one at a time, and we're going to be having quite a fun evening. So without further ado, let's get into our first roaster of the evening. CW, the floor is all yours.
The floor is all mine. Okay, well, I'll just start. First of all, thank you for having me here tonight, Dennis. I appreciate it. It's a privilege and an honor to be here. But I got to tell you, last year at the Quiet Adventure Symposium in Michigan, I got to spend some time with Kevin one evening, and I got to know him pretty well. And I must say, he's every bit as energetic as they say. What's more, he's one of the best drunken Canadians I've ever met. But what a pathetic taste in liquor. I mean, you should see the name of the brands of hooch this guy buys. Like Monkey Butt? Really? We were in Cliff Jacobson's hotel room that night with some friends, and there was this fly that I saw him land on Kevin's arm. And I think he lasted about 6 seconds before dropping over dead from all the alcohol that was coming out of Kevin with the pores on Kevin's arm. Yeah, and then there were the fireside whiskey chats. Are you kidding? I mean, how can you take a guy seriously when he's sloshed in front of the camera at 8 a.m. in the morning? I mean, instead of the happy camper, they should call him the tipsy camper, maybe, right? But seriously, he's one funny guy who's as conservative as they get. I mean, it's not everyone who would do the noble gesture of peeing on a tropical plant in front of a classroom of high school kids just to save a Dixie cup. It's like, oh, Dixie cup. But, I was really excited to read Kevin's latest book, Complete Guide to Winter Camping, 2nd edition. That is until I found out his mother had written it for him. In fact, most people don't know this, but Kevin's 80-year-old Scottish mother has been writing his books ever since he blew the audition for drummer of the band Rush back in the 80s. Good thing he became a forester. But apparently forestry and wood has always been in your genes. Wait, you know what I mean. Never mind that. Scratch that. But many people look up to you, and rightfully so, because you're one tall ass dude, Kevin. I hope 58 treats you well, and maybe this year you'll finally grow up. But honestly, never get old. I mean, look at Cliff Jacobson. He's still telling doctors he's 34, man. Yeah, right? You're only as young as you feel. But you still look great, and you're a rock star in the paddling and camping adventuring communities, which is something to be proud of. You're an amazing guy, a lot of fun to party with, a good friend, and wise enough to know where not to ask for directions when you're lost in the city. But seriously, and from the heart, thank you for being someone who enjoys helping others, who genuinely cares about people, and who's always willing to come on a public broadcast to share your knowledge and support us broadcasters by helping us look respectable at what we do. Well,
is this like a Dean Martin roast or what?
This is my Don Rickles take on the Dean Martin roast. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd rake a little bit. I mean, that would be fun. But I had to throw the Dixie cup in there, and I don't know if we have time to share that story, but I will tell you this. Kevin came on the show, as he does frequently, and by the way, I appreciate that. And before the show, there was something about, I don't know how we even got onto this thing, but it was about, I had to pee in a Dixie cup, and I don't remember what it was for. Do you recall that, Kevin?
Yeah, the school I was working at a couple of months ago was in a lockdown. There was a violent act going on in the hall, and they were all used to it. It was downtown Toronto. I was not, and I said, "Well, what do you mean? So we can't leave? Well, when are we going to leave?" "Well, we don't know, Kevin. This happens all the time." I went, "I have to pee."
And I had mentioned before the show about peeing in a Dixie cup. And I said, I had to do it. Why couldn't you just get a Dixie cup and pee in it? He goes, "What? Pee in a Dixie cup? I've never done that." I'm like, you've never taken a drug test and had a pee in a Dixie cup. Seriously.
No.
So well, first you have to have a job, Kevin, and then you can, no, I'm just joking. Anyway, so part of the roast. But anyway, so I thought you'd pee in a plant in front of some kids before you'd pee in a Dixie cup. So I had to bring that up.
It never happened, but I was desperate. And actually, to make it worse, though, Wilson will tell you a story if he can get on. He's trying to get on. He was in a parking lot in Toronto just before a TV show, and he had to go number 2. And he did that in a Tim Hortons cup.
I know you've had Kevin on your show quite a few times, and
Yes,
I'd be insulting myself if I said why such a low-rated celebrity to have on your fantastic show. But I'd be shooting myself.
Well, what happens is he's my go-to guy, Kevin. You know, like you got those, and it's like I can't find anybody else. Okay, I'll call Kevin.
It's true. It's true. Every time you call me, it's like, I have a cancellation. Can you be on? I've never been asked to be on your show because you wanted me.
No, I don't think that's
and that
true,
happens often because Kevin's on your show every other week. Oh, wait a minute, I'm talking about my show too. What's the allure of having Kevin Callan on your show?
Well, it's the sex appeal, really. I mean,
I thought so.
Yeah,
I thought so. Well, CW, thanks very much. Good luck with that vasectomy you're going for tomorrow, and
yes, sir.
We'll talk to you a little bit later.
I appreciate it.
And CW, next time you need someone on because everybody cancels on you, I'm good.
I got a whole basement full of people who say they love you or who you think love you. But
I should never have answered your email.
please welcome the real author of Once Around Algonquin Park, Mr. Andy Baxter. Andy!
Good day. Good day, everyone. Hello.
How's Andy doing, man?
I'm well for an old fella, and especially someone who survived a few trips with that fella.
Yeah, well, what's with that? Like, why do you canoe with this guy? Is it you feel sorry for him? You just like I say, keep him motivated, keep him moving.
Well, that's a very, very good question because sometimes I'm thinking, do I do it just to keep him off the street from bothering other people? Or is there some greater purpose? But you have to take the good with the bad with Kevin, is from what I've learned over time here. So, yeah. And in fact, I was always thinking, it's a roast. You kind of expect people to come on and say all sorts of maybe nasty things about the poor person being roasted, and that's not very nice at all, is it? So I thought I'm gonna take the higher road. I'm gonna praise Kevin, praise all his good qualities, because he's overflowing with them, and his genes are overflowing with them, from what I learned from the last speaker there. So, but yeah, for instance, cooking. Kevin is a fabulous cook, and you go on a canoe trip with him, and he's got these delicious recipes. He's got spices that come from all over the world. He's got crushed nuts or crushed this or that, and he's like preparing, and it's quite a meal. And it's delicious, and I've just learned to love all those great meals that Kevin, brings forth on the canoe trip. It's just like, where did that come from? It's magic, and then you go on our winter canoe or our winter camping treks, and we slogged all day, and we get the tent set up. It's nice and hot, and he gets the the pot ready to make a stew or something delicious, and so he gets that going. It's a bit of a mystery, and and then he goes, "Oh yeah, I got one more thing," and he pulls out salad.
Salad.
Salad that's traveled all through the winter, and it's like, and then he looks a little surprised, like why does the salad not as crispy and inviting as it usually is, after being frozen solid for how long, I don't know. But so you learn to take those good points with, Kevin's got a couple of things he's still learning as he goes, but you know and filming, like he's filming, he's like so gifted filming, and you see all his videos, and even editing all that stuff together is like, it's magical. He's got quite the talent, right? And anyone who's seen any of his material will certainly attest to that. And so we'd be out there filming, and then all of a sudden I realize, wait a minute, he's been filming for the last 4 hours, and I'm the only one paddling. He gets out of paddling by filming. Oh, I'm filming, Andy. Don't keep going. Let's go over that way now. Oh yeah, this is a good view. Yeah. So but that's the thing. He's got all those skills and assets, and then you realize he's just like, he's got you. But oh well. Anyway, he's I mean, trip planning is one of his great features. Also, he plans the trip. Hey, who's coming? And fires out the list. Who here, you bring this. I'm gonna bring that. You guys bring that other stuff, and then the next thing um, we're out there on the trip, and like we're having a great time, and it's like, okay, we're finally into it, and it's meal time. So who's got the pots? And like, what? There's no pots. Okay, how are we going to? One trip it's pots, another trip it's utensils. I finally like, no, that's it. I'm making a list. Say whatever the heck you want. Here's the list, and you bring it or not. I'm just bringing all the stuff because you always go, oh, what happened? I didn't know.
Wow.
It's true. It's true.
Andy, you're the guy with recreational barrel works. Like, shouldn't you just have prepackaged, like pre-filled barrels, just so that you don't have to rely on Mr. Callan over here?
I've learned that's it's like, oh sure, Kevin, you bring all that stuff, and I'll bring the things that you told me to on the list, plus everything else, and everything that was on your list too, Kevin, because I can't depend on that. So
I'm pretty sure my pack was heavier on the meanest link than yours, Andy. Wasn't it?
oh. I think you're absolutely right, and that's a very good segue into your destination planning skills. The first trip we went on together was on the Nabaquazi route as part of the Lost Canoe Routes research Kevin was doing, and we'd never tripped before, and that was we drove up to go Gamma, and we got out there on the trip, and I'm like, I don't know, this guy, he doesn't know me, and so it was a great trip. At the end of it, he's like, holy crap, this guy might know which end of the hatchet to hold, and I'm like, yeah, it's nice to be out there with someone who's got some skills, and that was good. But so that was a great start, but I think it kind of lulled me into a sense of, false security. Oh yeah, let's go to Quantico next, or Killarney, or and I'm doing some book things, and okay, whatever, and and then the next thing you know, oh, there's something called the meanest link. I'm like, what? Meanest link? But well, no, don't worry, Andy. It's in Algonquin Park. Oh, okay, Algonquin Park. It's well maintained, easy peasy paddling, nothing like the bushwhacking that we've done in the past. Okay, let's go. And then like day one, we arrive, and I'm like, wait a minute, this map, takes us outside of the park down to Huntsville, and then do you see how long this upstream section is on the Big East River? Kevin's like, nah, it's great. People do this all the time. Don't worry, Andy. So yeah, you know, 2.5 days later, going up the Big East, Kevin's like, hey Dad, I can't take it anymore. I just, I, and I'm like, it's okay, Kevin. We can make it. We're almost there. Chin up. It's okay. That's all right. We'll just sit here right in the river and soak our worries away. But we'll make it. So yeah, he lost his trip planning, privileges for I don't know how many years after that. I the meanest link. I renamed it the meanest hoax. So
was that the favorite book you wrote for Kevin?
yeah, I later on he's like, I wrote up a book on that, and I'm like, well, I thought you liked to entertain people. That was like that story hurts, but there was a lot of portaging and yeah, both in quantity and distance, and but it was good. My knee surgery worked out well after that, and I was able to carry on pretty much.
He did. It's true. He had knee surgery after that trip.
Really?
Yeah.
Brought on by the trip? Hopefully not.
Well, it's either that or playing goalie, and one or the other, or perhaps the combination. But anyway, I it was that's some of the things. He's a good trip planner, but every once in a while that there's a dud thrown in there, so you got to watch out. And then he's smart. He's smart though. Like I mentioned, the long portages, right? We'll come up to a long portage. All the gear fires out of the boat, and we're getting ready, and he's like, "Hey, I need some video and some photos. So you just start, and here, you get the pack on and the canoe on, and we'll just get some photos here, and then that'll be great, okay?" "Oh, okay, Kevin, that sounds good." And then so like halfway down, yeah, keep going, Andy. This is good stuff. Keep going, and and I'm seeing the lake come into view on the other side, and I'm like, wait a minute, he's done it again. You,
But Andy, tell him how I love rapids.
Kevin is like one of those whitewater demons, right? He just loves it. He can't get enough. He hears that little tinkle of the water, and it's like, oh yeah, where the hell's the portage? We gotta get off now. So we were on the meanest link too. One of the, I was like dead tired. We come around the corner, and there's a portage sign, and I'm like, oh, yeah. And I'm in the back. Kevin's like, paddling like mad to get over to the portage. I said, okay, we got to get to the portage. And we pull all the gear up, stand up, and look. And it's like a class -1, Swift. It's like there's people paddling up it, and Kevin's like, oh no, we got a portage, and it's whitewater. So, I don't know. I try to talk him in, into taking a lesson or something. Like but you know,
But,
he's
I saved you from that beaver attacking us in Quetico.
Oh my goodness! I got a feeling this is going to be a good one.
I was trying to think of her name, but you know, and then I realized no, it was there was we were actually, I think it was on Quetico Lake, paddling very quietly, paddling the shore to check out. There's a number of Indian rock paintings, pictographs along the shore, and so we'd seen the first couple, and then we were just gliding along. It was a calm day, and right close to the shore, and then you know, we're looking for the next pictograph, and we just round this corner, and all of a sudden there's this mad scramble on the rocks above us, and we're like, what the heck's going on? And then there's rocks falling in the water, almost in the canoe, and all of a sudden this beaver comes tumbling down the cliff face and lands in the canoe, and you know, he's hissing at Kevin. I'm like, yeah, take him first. I got a bigger family. Take him. And Kevin's like with the paddle, and then the beaver like over the side, and I'm like, what on earth was that? And the poor beaver scared the life out of him, and then he almost like killed us in the process of trying to escape back into the water. But yeah, Kevin rescued us that day. That's a measure of his courage, you know, which is another one of those things that Kevin has. He's so courageous. He's like, I'm doing this book. I gotta go meet these people, and like, we gotta go. And he paddles up to where they live remotely on this lake, you know, and there's this big sign right there at the entrance that says absolutely no trespassing. And Kevin's like, oh, well, you know, what's the worst that can happen? And I'm like, well, I hear banjos, you know, so I'm not sure, but it might not end well. And so off we go up the trail, and it's like we're getting deeper and deeper into the woods, and I'm like, this is not a good idea. But you know, we've come this far now. We go up. Kevin knocks on the door. This remote cabin, woods all around. The door opens. Hello. I'm Kevin Callan. And next thing you know, oh, come on in, you know, and they're serving them tea. You know, I'm counting the bullet holes in the no trespassing sign, and he's getting tea served to him. So, you know, I gotta hand it to him. He's got courage to, you know, follow through on those things that he's determined on. Isn't that true?
It's true.
Anyway,
Kevin, do you need to change your diaper yet?
Oh man, actually, no. Andy has saved my butt so many times out there. I always said that he's the real happy camper. I'm just a fool, and I learned from him. To be quite honest, he's very talented tripper, knows a lot. He helped me out with taking my child out because he had kids before me. Except you terrified me with the circumcision thing. Oh yeah, sorry, we can't talk about
that. Well, as long as you didn't by yourself, that's okay.
No. We won't get into that. Sorry, Andy.
So Andy, you've been on many adventure with Kevin. I'm sure there's been some real heartfelt moments that have been shared at one time or another. What's your most heartfelt moment that you've ever experienced with Kevin?
Well, you know, it's there's been a number of them. So, you know, my hesitation is really trying to pick, you know, one of the top ones. You know, we've been there for each other through various tough times, you know, and helped each other. I remember, you know, talking to him about You know, when my dad passed away, and him, you know, going through the same thing. Actually, before, you know, my dad passed away, his dad passed away. So, you know, those going into our family memories, and actually being able to share that stuff that's really close to your heart with somebody who's gonna take it seriously, and not, you know, not make light of that. So, and that's the kind of an odd thing with Kevin and I, because we're out in the bush, not taking ourselves serious for 1 minute, you know, and always goofing it up and laughing it up. But when it's something close to the bone, you know, we both kind of sense that from each other, and, you know, support each other, and that's kind of nice, to have a friend like that, and someone who you can share things like that. And it's, you know, people often ask me, like, Kevin Callan's so high energy. Is he like always like that? And the answer is, well, it takes about 3 days, you know, and then he comes down a notch. But yeah, he's a high energy fella. It's always positive, and it's always directed at, you know, good things like getting the youth involved in paddling, or newcomers to the sport, out into to appreciate the wilderness. And you know, you really get that knowledge that his heart is in the right place when you see the way he, you know, behaves, as opposed to, he's not just talk, he's you know, walking that walk. So anyway, it's a pleasure and an honor to know you, sir, and I hope that the rest of my colleagues here on the abuse panel are a little gentler.
Well, I'm just so glad that you introduced me to how you sleep. We did the Nabaquazi, but then we also, the second trip we did was a 28-day trip in Quetico when I was working on a book there. And I still didn't really know you that well. And we're in the same tent together, and you sleep naked. You're a naked sleeper. And it was a heat wave, and you're on top of the sleeping bag completely naked. And I said, hey, buddy, that's not happening.
You see, and the truth of the matter is, I don't sleep naked. I sleep in the sleeping bag, and that's all part of Kevin's imagination. You know, I think he wants that, you know, so.
That's what happens when you start dreaming back in the bush, eh? Dreams become realities.
Well,
okay, but Andy, the next time a grouse attacks you in Quetico, I'm not helping you out.
That's awesome.
That was a scary looking grouse.
I've never seen you run out of the bush so fast in my life.
Well, I do want to. I found some apple juice that I would love to toast you with, sir, and may you paddle on for many, many years to come. And just maybe not so much with me, if I can, you know, avoid that. So, cheers.
Cheers, my friend.
And thank you, Andy. You know what? Please do, everybody on YouTube, in the YouTube world, one huge favor, and continue to be in Kevin's videos so that there's at least some sort of entertainment value. Gives us a reason to want to watch. Hey, you got my dog's toy there. From Paddling Adventures Radio, please welcome to the live stream our good friend, Sean Rowley. Sean, how you doing tonight?
My mama says I'm gorgeous. You know, when you asked me to come on here and talk about Kevin, I actually called my mom and said I'm going to be doing this Kevin Callan roast. And she says, remember, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So it's going to be a long 10 minutes of silence.
Oh, sorry. Here.
So many moons ago, must be close to 6 years now, when Derek and myself started the podcast, Kevin was actually on our very first episode. We were young, we were naive, and we're thinking, wow, we got Kevin Callan. Author, YouTube guy, like, awesome. Then we were seeing him everywhere. We'd go to shows, he was there. Turn on TV, he's doing stuff about camping and canoeing, the radio, YouTube. We realized we're never going to get rid of him now. He's like the gift that keeps on giving and we just can't give him back. The next time we saw Kevin after that first episode, we went down, we made the drive down to the Quiet Adventure Symposium. It was a Quiet Water Symposium in Michigan at the time. Came up to his table and we said hello, and he looks at us like a deer in the headlights. Like, who are these guys? And his excuse after he realized who we were is like, I meet so many people. I can't really keep track of everybody all the time. So, I'm sorry and all that. And we're thinking, no, dude, you're old. Your memory's going. They call you Uncle Kevin? They should be Grandpa Kevin. Starts getting old, eh, Gramps?
After all,
I was told I get to do this, so. Couple years later, Kevin decides, I said, Kev, how are you getting down there? Well, I fly. Wow. There's an intro if I ever heard one. Kevin, we're driving down. I mean, it's only 5 hours. It costs a tank of gas there and back. Let's go to town. He sends me a message. Okay, you know what? When do I need to be at your place? And who's all going? That sort of deal. Not a problem. We got our mobile studio in the back. We'll throw that in the back. We'll throw your stuff in the back. Off we go. When he got in the truck and I said, sit down, strap in, hold on, and shut up, he should have taken that as his clue. It's going to be a long drive. But he didn't. There was even talk of seeing if we could get him detained at the border for a full cavity search. Think there was talk about pink handcuffs? The second day of the symposium, okay, you know what? We picked on Kevin enough. It's Kevin Callan Day. We're going through McDonald's. He comes out, jumps in. I said, Kevin, it's Kevin Callan Day. I'd hooked my phone up to my radio on my truck, and we're pumping John Denver. It's Kevin Callan. That's the man. We're pumping it. We're singing. We're hooting and hollering. And as we're driving out of McDonald's, there's a little strip mall across the road from us. And there's like a dozen turkeys walking by. Boom, boom, across we go. Pull up to the turkeys. Kevin rolls down his window, sticks his head out, starts gobbling at the turkeys, doing his big gobble, 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 gobble. The turkeys answer back. Kevin Callan apparently can speak fluent turkey.
True story.
True story. And I do believe Kevin has a video on his YouTube channel of that symposium and of those turkeys.
True story.
Yeah. Kevin Callan, as we all know, loves his whiskey. There's more whiskey at the bottom of Kevin's barrel than there is on the distillery floor. All we hear about is how he accidentally spilled his whiskey. Now, I'm thinking that it's not really an accident, because I've heard rumors that at night, when it's nice and quiet, people hear a noise coming out of Kevin's tent. And apparently it sounds like Kevin's sucking on the towel that he used to mop up the whiskey. It is just his ploy to not share his whiskey. You're busted, Callan. I know it. Come on. Feel free to admit it. Now, I've never actually been on a canoe trip with Kevin, and it's not because our schedules have never matched up. It's because he tends to go canoe tripping with a naked guy named Speedo Man, a guy that makes barrels and sleeps naked, and a puppet. Now, I'm not a conservative type guy, but there's, I've done things, but there's a time, Kevin, where I just draw the line. There was experimenting in college, but you're way past college, my friend. Now, let's talk about my favorite one, and you knew this one was coming, Kevin. Killarney Provincial Park.
No.
This was coming back to haunt you one way or the other. So, gonna need a drink for this one. Let's get that one.
Hold it. Another moment of silence.
So Kevin has a book called The Paddler's Guide to Killarney and the French River. 30 years. Well done, Kevin. Kevin decided on the 30th anniversary of this book that he's going to go out and he's going to do a nice little solo trip to Killarney in order to celebrate. 30 years, wrote this book, boom, boom, awesome. Let's go out there. And it just so happens, look at that. So it just so happens that my wife and I decided we were going to go up for the day. Oh, look at that guy, eh? Wow, such a young pup. Such a young pup. Your hair wasn't even white there. Now it would just blend in with the black and white. So my wife and I decided, you know what? We're going to go up for the day to Killarney because she'd never been, and I wanted to show her something other than Algonquin Park. And she's newer to the canoe tripping, so it was a day to go out and practice portaging the canoe and stuff like that. So let's go up to Killarney. We'll see it. We'll do some practice for her. So we put in at George Lake, and then we paddle, do the portage over to Freeland Lake, and then into George Lake, Killarney Lake. And when we get there, paddling down the lake, we're heading towards OSA Lake. And there's this campsite on our left. Oh, look at that guy. Whatever happened to that guy? He used to be so studly then. Oh, a ferret. He keeps ferrets in his pants. So to our left is this campsite. And there's this little old gentleman sitting there in his chair. I'm thinking, man, that guy's got the same canoe as Kevin Callan does. But I know Kevin's far in because, you know, he's doing this trip. So I give a little friendly wave. The old guy waves back, and, you know, we're continuing on our way. I'm telling my wife about the hills and the quartz and all that sort of stuff. And, you know, the crack is up that way, and, you know, all these little highlights of what Killarney has to offer. We go into OSA Lake and have some swimming and lunch and all that, paddle around. And we come back, and the little old guy's back there as we're passing by, but he's back in the back of his site there, and he's just hunched over and he's hobbling. And I'm thinking he had to be at least 90, 95, somewhere in there. I was just going to give him a little wave again, but he wasn't looking. So off we go. Little do I know, that little 90-year-old man happened to be one Kevin Callan. Kevin Callan was not far out where he was supposed to be. Being of advanced years, Kevin hurt his back. So he had to go to the one spot and just hunker down, figure, you know, he's going to make the best of it. And the story gets told later when I find out who it was. He says, I know that was you on the lake that waved, because he knows my voice from anywhere. Now, Kevin's been on our show a few times. So, like I say, he heard me explaining stuff to my wife, saying this is what this is, that's where that is, and all that sort of stuff, and waving and stuff like that. So he knew it was me. And he had thought about calling me over to help him out. But he knew that what I'm saying now would be on our podcast. So he put up with his pain. He sat and relaxed and figured, I am not giving Sean the opportunity. But see, Kevin thinks that I would have gone on the podcast and said, Kevin Callan, this 30-year-old almighty canoe tripper, I had to help him out of Killarney Park. It was awesome. He'll never live it down. But what Kevin doesn't realize is that's not how it would have went. We were up there for a purpose, and that purpose was to get my wife, who was new to canoe tripping, some practice. So the actual headline would have been, Canoe Newbie portages all Kevin Callan's gear out of the park and helps Kevin Callan out of the park, paddles Kevin Callan up. We would have made this the best rescue in history. So what you... You would not have lived it down. You thought what you thought was going to be said was mild compared to what would have actually been said.
Oh no, Sean! I couldn't move. My back went. Anybody that has back issues, I was done. Like, I couldn't move, and I was going to push my spot to have a emergency lift out. But I had meds with me, and I go, no, and I heard your voice. And you're right. I said to myself, there's no bloody way in hell Sean Rowley is rescuing Kevin Callan at a Killarney Park during his anniversary of 30 years. There's no way that's happening.
That would have become, I would have made a special commercial on our podcast, and it would still be running to this day. Paddling Adventures Radio, brought to you by Sean Rowley, the guy that hauled Kevin Callan's butt out of Killarney Park on his 30th anniversary.
You know what I did instead? The next day, Sean, I got up and I was heavily medicated, and I dragged my boat across the I only had one portage left. Well, two.
Yeah.
Killarney to that pond, whatever. But I dragged it across, went across, and I dragged my pack across. I never lifted anything. I did it before light so nobody would see me.
You know who carries this stuff now?
Well, yeah,
Andy Baxter.
Yeah.
Well, that's why. Yeah, Kevin, we've never actually been. Well, we paddled together when I was doing the Trent Severn. You came out for that day. And I thought we had a pretty good time out there, and yeah, I think sometime we ought to do a canoe trip together. So that the next time we roast you, I've got even more ammunition.
Well, I felt like I would before the show, but now there's no bloody way, Sean.
Sean, you do realize that Kevin is Canadian canoeing royalty, and you will have to carry his gear, right? It's a rite of passage.
Well,
might get your article after all.
There are monarchists and there's non-monarchists. When it comes to Kevin Callanists, yeah, I wouldn't be a Kevin Callanist at that point. He can carry his own stuff.
You and I have a really good idea we should do, though. Remember, because of COVID, I'll change it. But you had this idea that was really great.
End of June.
Every single Great Lake in one day in 24 hours.
Can do
the
it.
whole lake, just to put the canoe in the water.
Yeah, every single lake. So we'll start Lake Ontario, downtown Toronto at 2 in the morning. And it's possible in a 24-hour period to hit all 5 Great Lakes in one day. End of June.
You won't do it.
You can't
You won't
go
be
out
able to
there.
do it.
Oh my
Yeah, we
God,
can.
my dog wants
No,
to-
you won't, because Kevin will have his camera in your face all the time, and it'll be interrupting everything you're trying to do to get there.
Yes.
Yes.
As long as he's got pants on, I'm okay with that. He's not wearing pants right now. We all know it.
Dennis, you're going to have to control the show for 3 minutes. My dog has the poops.
So, Kevin, how's the heart rate tonight? Is the blood pressure okay so far?
I actually, you know what? I bought one of those blood pressure things
Yeah.
to test myself at home, and I'm good.
So I have to ask, when you were younger, did you enjoy that show, The Muppets? Remember The Muppets?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially the two guys in the balcony.
Yeah. Well, I figured that you must have really liked Gonzo, because you still hang around with a guy that really resembles Gonzo, right? Some guys call him, or you call him what, Gandalf?
Oh no!
Please welcome to the live stream, Tim Foley. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Dennis. Thanks for having me on.
By all means, get you guys all shuffled around so the two guest of honors are up on the screen.
You
So how you
shall
doing,
not
man?
enter.
So I understand you go back quite a long ways with Kevin. He's always mooching gear off you and stuff like that. What can you tell us about him?
Well, he's notorious. He wants an axe, he wants a knife, and then he's sending them back to me. Can you please sharpen this? Can you please clean this up? I don't have time to do this stuff. I'm a celebrity. I really ought not to do this stuff myself. He's got me under a tight deadline to keep feeding him with his gear. I try and do everything I can for the guy, but what can you do? Hey, so Dennis, I heard that you told me earlier that Canoehound Adventures is actually celebrating its 87th show tonight.
Yes, this is number 87 for us right here. Yeah, 87th episode over 3 seasons.
Congrats, man. I mean, that's the great thing about YouTube channels. They don't get canceled for mediocrity.
I know. There you go, right?
Actually, Dennis, the last time I actually saw something like Canoehound Adventures, I wiped and then I flushed.
That's okay. That's okay. You know what? I get that every single day.
Actually, you know who's not here, Dennis, who I was hoping would be, is Ash McBride, our paddling partner, Ash McBride. I suspect he's probably working. He does work the late shift sometimes. So I'm going to just shout out to Ash. Hey, Ash, I hope you're watching this. Ash, when 2 people have sex, it's a twosome. When 3 people have sex, it's a threesome. And now I know why they call you handsome. Ba-dum-bum. So Ash is English. He's an Englishman, and he's very proud of his English heritage. Hey, Ash, do you know why Jesus wasn't born in England? Because he couldn't find 3 wise men or a virgin.
Oh.
We had Mr. Andy Baxter on earlier. Andy Baxter is a proud Scot. He's Scottish heritage. He's always waving that Scottish flag. Hey, Andy, do you know how to keep a Scot from getting seasick over the side of a boat? Put a loonie between his teeth. Stunned silence. And Andy, the Scots invented hypnosis, chloroform, and the hypodermic syringe. Andy, wouldn't it just be easier to learn to talk to women?
Oh my God.
So, Mr. Callan on this evening, the guest of honor, of course, Mr. Callan, turning the big 5'8" this year. That's you're kind of getting up there in years now, Kevin. I mean, Kevin's so old that his balls are starting to look like a tent that nobody knows how to fold up. Kevin's so old, his prostate is almost the size of his ego. Hey, Kevin, which sexual positions produce the ugliest kids? Oh, I thought your mom was going to be here so we could ask her. Kevin's a canoe author, so he's really living the life of a starving artist. Kevin's so poor that instead of buying a bidet, he does handstands in the shower. Kevin's so poor that he goes to KFC and licks other people's fingers. Kevin's so poor that for Christmas, his mother cut a hole in his pants so he would have something to play with on Christmas Day. If you buy one of Kevin's books on Amazon, the other suggested items for sale are a rope, a book of knots, and a step stool. Okay, I'll regale you with a camping story. So one time, Kevin and Andy and myself were out camping, and we'd done all the chores and everything was done. So we had a nice we dram of whiskey on the go, and through a stroke of misfortune, a horsefly landed in each of our drinks. So I plucked mine out of my cup and kept on sipping. Andy harumphed and got up and dumped his out and poured himself another. Kevin picked out the horsefly from his drink and with his blood boiling was screaming at it. "Spit it out, you bastard! Spit it out!"
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm done. That's what I got. Thank you. Good night.
So I see you bought Kevin Callan's book of jokes, eh?
Oh. Honestly, I've never heard Tim like this in my life. He's the quietest, most deep philosophical person on a trip. And oh my God, you've never done those one-liners on a trip. We got to go out again.
Wow, yeah, that was not part of the prep plan that you send over. It was all, cutlery and pots and pans. No one-liners. You have to add that to the list next time.
Oh my God.
Kevin, Tim's been working on this for the last 2 years in all reality, and he's just been building and building and building. It's like pent up sexual tension, right? And he finally got a chance tonight to blow his load.
Oh my.
Well said, Dennis. Well said.
So Tim, in all reality, you know what? You canoe trip with Kevin quite a bit. You two obviously have a friendship going. What's the allure of hanging around with Kevin Callan?
Well, you know what? I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, Kevin's a high energy, funny guy, but that's part of who he is. But he is, in all honesty, he is actually a very serious, deep dude with a lot of knowledge. He sometimes keeps that a little close to his chest, but he is a very, very knowledgeable person. So I think I think the connection goes to being in the outdoors and in nature and what that does for us as a species, as people, and as a species, as beings on this planet, what being in touch with that sort of stuff does for your psyche and your spirit. I think that's kind of what we connect on in all seriousness.
Mm-hmm. When I asked that question, I was hoping you weren't going to say book sales, because I was going to call you a liar.
Yeah, if I had to rely on Kevin's book sales, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd be in a rough spot.
That's all right. No, do you have a moment with Kevin that you would say was one of your favorite classical moments that you've ever experienced out in the bush with him? On a particular canoe trip, or it wouldn't happen
like
to be
Andy says.
the piece of poop that he got right there a couple of weeks ago, would it? No.
Well, I didn't actually see that. That's what he says, right? I mean, he turns on the camera and he says these things. Whether they actually happened or not is maybe another matter. We'll trust him, though. We'll trust him. No, I kind of with Andy there. It's hard to pick out one, but I will say that whole thing about spilling whiskey, like, that is a real thing. Like, I can't count the number of trips where there's been spilled whiskey in barrels or packs or just sitting on his lap. I don't know what it is. I guess that's between him and his therapist, exactly what's going on there. But that is a real phenomena that happens, like, frequently, like more than you would think would happen. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there.
Yeah, for something like whiskey and how much and I'm sure all of you really enjoy it. How the hell do you manage to spell a drop of that stuff? You think that stuff would be in an ironclad canister of some sort, right? And especially you, I'm sure you sell Nalgene bottles. It's probably one of the best things to keep it in, right?
Dennis, it's not a problem for anybody else on the trip, only for Kevin. So I don't know what that says.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Maybe he's too drunk to do the cap up tight.
No. It never gets into that sort of thing. No, he's stone cold sober and opening up the barrel for lunch, and then I smell whiskey. And like, oh, dude, again? And sure enough, yeah, he's done it again. Kevin, happy birthday, man! It's a pleasure. All the best. Keep going, man. Keep doing what you do. Cheers,
Tim. Before you take off, really quickly, selfless plug. Where can people find you?
Well, you know what? We should plug Project Canoe. That's an important cause. I think getting people outdoors is a massively important cause. But let's plug Project Canoe. Yeah, you can hit just search some gear you need. You'll end up on my site. I don't need to plug that. But check out Project Canoe. Highly worthwhile cause.
Wow.
And if you want to know why I go canoe tripping with him and winter camping, right there. That's why.
So our next roaster has a leg up on most rap stars. When it comes to bling, no gold, no diamond-covered dollar signs are hanging around his neck. This guy prefers to chain himself to bulldozers and trees for attention. Please welcome to the live stream, Mr. Hap Wilson.
Kevin, my friend. Hey, look what I'm drinking.
Oh, I got a bottle myself somewhere.
I remember back reading your books, Hap, and then I come across these books by Kevin Callan. And I go, who the hell's this Kevin Callan guy? Is he like a Hap Wilson wannabe? And you know what? I think he was.
I told you, I taught Kevin everything he knows.
I know, right?
He won't admit it, but
so you and Kevin, being, like I say, both, in my opinion, the crown princes of Canadian canoe paddling. You both are huge inspirations to many people. What can you tell us about Kevin?
Well, it's funny. Yeah, you mentioned that here. I think we're the only real guidebook writers in in Canada, really, that are prolific, doing what we do. And sometimes it's a tough call. I remember years going back that we didn't get a lot of respect. There was a period where people thought we were capitalizing on these great canoe routes in not just Ontario but across Canada, places that I've been, and people didn't realize that hey, all my books have been focused on environmental reasons and conservation, and same with Kevin. He's got, silly as he is, he's got a serious side to him, and I can see it right now. Hold that for a while there, Kevin. No, you're losing it, man. You're losing it. Come on, I'm trying to be kind here. Two guidebook writers in Canada sitting right here, and I have great pride in being a friend of Kevin's, because he knows what it's like to be a guidebook writer and the work that's put into these projects, and and just working with good people, and getting the opportunity to visit these precious places. So, I'm going to toast you again, Kevin. Hats off, man. Inside every old man is a young man wondering what the hell happened.
Yeah. And actually, you have taught me a ton of things. And the swirl the coffee thing, all yours. That's yours, man.
Well, that was funny because that was in Madison. I was just, in between shows. I've been banned from that show, by the way. A few shows I've been banned in the U.S., especially when Trump got into power. I did a mock-up on on a picture with Trump with Putin in the back steering the canoe, and Trump in the front, trying, and his paddles away in the air, and Putin saying, paddle harder, and then Trump's in the front saying, I'm trying, and that didn't go over well. I had half the audience walk out, and I think that was somewhere in Michigan. I think I was in Michigan. Anyway, I was in Madison at a show, and I just happened to peek in at Kevin's talk, and he was just there showing people how to swing the pot, the coffee pot, and he sees me in the back, and I think maybe he felt guilty or something. Oh yeah, there's Hap Wilson. Oh yeah, that's what he does. Yeah, that's what I learned that from him. Anyway, but no, I had a chuckle over that. But I think the only thing, and the funny thing is, we've never paddled together. I mean, we've kind of crossed paths on a lot of occasions at shows and different, different. I think pretty much just different shows that we've gone to, and exhibitions and talks and things. So never had a chance to paddle with him. And after hearing some of the previous speakers, I don't think I ever want to paddle with him. So. I love canoeing too much to, but the only, I don't have a lot of stories to share about, spending time with Kevin outside of selling books and doing talks with people. I do remember a story where he ventured far afield. Remember, he left Peterborough for the first time in his life, and he went up to my territory in Temagami. This was during the blockades, 1980s, I think, when if you had a canoe on the roof of your car, they wouldn't serve you gas. And if you left your car parked overnight, you might not find tires in the morning, or they might be punctured, or you might have a skidder, waving its claws at the front of your vehicle and not letting you out of the parking lot. So Kevin ventured up to Temagami in the most dangerous of times. Kevin, I think you should relate that story. They thought you were a Hap Wilson.
It was classic. It was on the Montreal River, and it's true about the gas. The guy wouldn't serve me gas, and because he looked at my canoe and he goes, "We've run out." And I get the Latchford and get gas there. But yeah, I went down the Montreal River, and I'm doing this portage actually through Matachewan, I think that was the
Matachewan. Yep.
And there was guys that had just illegally poached a black bear and took the gallbladders out to sell. And I was portaging past them, and I'm like, "Oh God, please don't say anything, Kevin. Like, they'll kill you." And they like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" I said, "Well, I'm working on a guidebook, and I'm Kevin." No, I didn't say I was Kevin. I'm working on a guidebook, and my canoe is from Southern Ontario. And they're like, "Are you a Hap Wilson?" And I said, "I don't know who you're talking about." Because if I said it was Hat Wilson, I would have been dead.
Yeah, you would have been skinned. Your body parts would have been sold to the Chinese market.
Oh my lord! Oh my lord! The one guy in town though, he was pretty cool. I went in to get a coffee going across the town, and it was kind of a weird place. But the guy goes, "What are you really doing here?" And I said, "Well, I'm on this route because I used to work in forestry up there. That's what I did back in the early '80s, and I wanted to see the trees that I planted." And he took me to them. He drove me in his pickup truck, complete stranger, right? I got in his pickup truck. He took me to the trees. I looked at the trees. I went, I'm just a bloody farmer. That's all I was back then. I cut them and I planted them, and I just want to go home now. That's where I am.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, no stories. I can't even tell a joke about puppets or laying naked in the tent. I don't know any. I haven't shared that much time and space with Kevin. Maybe that's something in the future. What do you think?
No, can you tell people though what you did to harass me while we're traveling together? I mean, you almost got me arrested a couple times going across the border. I
don't remember. It's all a blur to me, Kevin. Sorry.
Talking about the knives that you have right beside the border person and laughing at me, thinking it's funny. It's not a funny story.
Actually, Hap, you're an enjoyer, or you're a lover of Scotch as well, are you not?
Yeah, we dip into the Scotch every once in a while. I got a lot of joint pain, and I'd prefer a good Scotch over ibuprofen or Tylenol. So I think, and it dulls the senses just enough to ease that discomfort. So, although I don't drink during a canoe trip, I on the occasion
was going to say, because I wouldn't want to canoe with Kevin either. There, for risk of losing your Scotch, right? Yeah, he spills his, and he'll go after yours.
Well, we were out. We actually did a cleanup, not a cleanup, but a bit of a cleanup on the Canoe River in Quebec last month. And late October. It was kind of fun because we were putting in thunderboxes for Friends of the Des Moines River. And we had, I think, 3 bags, those little bags that you can put wine in. We had two like cheap wines and one really good wine in a barrel. And only the good wine broke open. It split open and it soaked everything in the barrel when we got to our first campsite. And we didn't want to waste the wine. And the trouble is I had just used that barrel for carrying mulch on a trail job that we had and didn't quite clean it out. So the good wine was mixed with mulch at the bottom of the barrel, but we ended up pouring out, trying to sift through it and not waste the wine and we poured it into our cups and we drank that. So talk about desperation. So
this is why Hap is a lot better at what he does than I am, because what he really did is spill his wine in the barrel, but he's making a better story about it.
Well, we had that on a copper mine too. We had one fellow broke the wine broke open in a pack boat. Pack boats have this, the metal frame and it's a skin boat basically, and the wine was floating around as bilge, but we didn't want to waste it, so we ended up salvaging what we could, scooping it out with our cups. So, but I mean, you're on a long canoe trip. That's gold. Your Scotch and your wine, and there's not a lot of it, but you kind of nurse it every night just as a treat, for the hard work during the day, right, Kevin?
My Lord, you're making me thirsty, man.
That's all good. All good. Well, Hap, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks for your patience in trying to get in. I think we had one person too many in at one point because this software only lets a certain amount of people in. But I'm glad you were able to make it in. Better late than never, right?
Yeah, and then Andrea says her birthday wishes to you, Kevin, and so do I, and we love you, and keep on the good work.
Well, there, and just to make you laugh, I also almost got arrested.
It says 1894.
Yeah, it was pretty old.
Oh, look at that!
Why are you wearing a cape?
I worked for Ontario Parks, and I did a thing called Dangerous Dan, and I worked for this paper at the time. It was 1985, I think. And I got a cop to arrest me as a joke because I was doing canoeing with beer in the pool at Brundage Creek Provincial Park. And I had over 1,000 people show up for it. They were laughing. On Monday, and you'll laugh at this, the superintendent of the park said, "You're no longer working for Ontario Parks, Kevin." I said, "Why am I getting let go?" Because you were not wearing a proper uniform.
Yeah.
True story. So I'm just as much as rebel as you are, man.
I know you are. Yeah. And
That's from like one paddling icon, in my opinion, to another paddling icon. And you know what? Let's take it on to one other paddling icon. Our next roaster is the inventor of the canoe. In fact, he's been around so long, he used to give advice for camping to cavemen. Yeah. And in fact, between Kevin and this individual, their combined age is 138 years old. Oh, no, wait a second. Kevin just had a birthday. 139 years old. 139 years old. Yeah, please welcome to the roast, Mr. And where is he here, Mr. Cliff Jacobson. Cliff, how you doing?
Hey, guys. First, Kevin, happy 58th birthday. I was 58 once.
Wow, that was around turn of the century, wasn't it?
And it was fun seeing Hap on there too. And these guys were talking about Scotch. And I remember many years ago, I attended. There was a thing in Toronto. I don't remember what it was called. It was a big show in Toronto, and got together with Hap. And I really, really liked the guy. And he told me he loved Scotch and hot chocolate. So I come back home. I heard it was his birthday. I said, I'm going to send him a bottle of Scotch, but how am I going to get this thing through customs? What am I going to do? So I wrapped it really, really well, and I went up to the post office, and then they go through this thing, liquid, fragile, hazardous, explosive, whatever. No, just total lie. Doggone if I didn't get it through customs. And he actually got it, and that was one of my proudest moments. But, everybody here before me, they've been kind of roasting Kevin a bit. I like Kevin a lot. He knows that. So I don't want to add to the roast. Maybe I just boil him a little bit. Okay, just a little boil. But first of all, I have to say, Kevin, I saw something earlier tonight on this program that was shocking. I was seriously shocked by this. You were there holding up a bottle of Redbreast Irish whiskey. Now, first of all, I know that Redbreast is pretty pricey here in the States. But from what Kevin has told me, it's a lot more pricey in Canada. So here he is. He's drinking Irish whiskey, the best Irish whiskey in the world. This is not his style. So I need to tell you that there it is right there. So I need to tell you this little story. Before this COVID thing shut down everything, we used to go to this wonderful show in Lansing, Michigan, the Quiet Adventure Symposium. It used to be called what? Quiet Sports or whatever. Anyway. And so Kevin knows I always bring the Scotch. And it's always really good Scotch. It's like Glenfiddich 12-year-old, or if I'm just feeling like I'm just a little bit low on budget this time, I'd maybe be Johnny Walker Black Label, but nothing below that. So we have this thing, Kevin and I. He always shows up with a arguably terrible bottle of Scotch, and we all get together. And I got this big bottle of Scotch. I mean, we can drink this thing. This is for the whole weekend. I mean, he's my friend, and he knows I really like him. And he's coming from a foreign country to visit me. I want to make sure he has a really good time while he was here. Okay. I know this is expensive for him. Sometimes it's hard to get here. He gets here late. There's a snowstorm, whatever. So I want to make sure he has good food. I make him breakfast in the morning, okay, and good Scotch. But no, he has to use this absolutely debatably terrible Scotch. He pours himself a drink. Out of courtesy, I let him do that. Out of courtesy. But after that one's over, that scotch goes down the drain and he drinks my scotch. Right, Kev?
It's true. It's really true.
Is that like the secret score, eh?
Oh man.
You know, we've had so much fun over the years at these shows. One of the things that comes up every year at these shows with Kevin and I is Kevin came up with this idea. It was a great idea. And what Kevin wanted to do, he wanted to take a canoe and he wanted to paint the Canadian flag on one side and the American flag on the other side. And then what we were going to do is we're going to run this baby right down the border between Minnesota and Ontario, okay? Because we're both kind of ticked off at how each of our countries are making a big deal about this. So we were going to just go straight down that thing. And then we were going to camp one night in Canada, and then the next night in the US, and then the next night in Canada, and so on, waiting to see which country's custom agents would arrest us first. Okay. And that's about as far as we got, because you know what? I think that would probably happen, wouldn't it, Kim?
Yeah, no, it was all planned. We were even going to stay at that one campsite where the marker for Canada, United States was actually at that falls at Basswood Lake. And we were going to have you sit in your camp chair in the United States and me in Canada. We're going to argue back and forth.
Yeah. Oh, so, you know, such memories. It almost always snows at the Quiet Water Symposium in Lansing. And one day we're finishing up the snow. It's a virtual snowstorm out there. There's about 2 feet of snow out there. It's blowing bloody murder. It's the end of the show. And we want to get cleaned up fast because we want to get to the beer and dinner before everybody else. So I said, Kev, we're going to save some time here. Here's the keys to my car. I want you to go. I got a Subaru. He's got a Subaru. I said, I want you to go out there. Just here, go drive the car around, get it in here. We'll get out of here and we'll make it. So I got everything packed. Everything's packed up and I'm waiting and I'm waiting and I'm looking out there and it's snowing and it's snowing. And what is going on? What's going on? Finally said, okay, I gotta find. I don't have my boots. I just put my shoes on. I go out there. Before as I'm starting to head out there, he comes in with this sheepish look on his face and he hands me the keys and he says, I couldn't figure out how to get it into reverse. I said, Kevin, it's a Subaru. You got a Subaru. Yeah, but yours is a stick shift. Now, I thought he was old enough to remember how to drive one of those cars.
I've owned a couple of stick shifts. I just couldn't drive your car. I don't know. I was a little nervous because if I
just got to lift that little thing under the shift to pick it into. But, you know, I want to leave Kevin with probably one of our real happy times. This was, I don't know, quite a while ago. I was probably closer to 58 then. I don't know. He was just a kid. We decided we were going to do a show together at Canoecopia. Now, we've never done anything together before, but we figured it would be really, really fun. And so it was like one of these deals where, you know, you're coming on a plane from Canada. Okay, so don't worry about bringing some. I'll bring the props. So I had a ton of props. And then we get up on stage here. And one guy shows up. He's got 2 boxer robes, you know, like the boxers wear, the robes with the names on the back. So he's got one, this Kevin, and the other one, Cliff. And we're supposed to put this baby on so that we can duke it out. So what happened was we had the largest attendance show in the history of Canoecopia. How many did we have? Well, I think they said that room was maximum occupancy was, I think, 300, I think is what they told me. They had over 500 in there. They had them laying on the floor, sitting on the floor, standing up, one on top of all the way around. And then, you know, you always wind up with some of these people. There's always some people like this. Somebody picked up the phone and called the fire department. And they came and shut us down. You remember that, Kim?
Yep, they did. They actually did. Yeah.
They shut us
Yeah.
down.
And you know, I think some people still think that we actually set that up.
But in all seriousness, I really like this guy. And it's always a pleasure to do a show with him. And I think that's one of the reasons why people like to see us together, because they know we really like and respect each other. And Kev's a fun guy. If I lived close to him, I think we'd be the bestest of friends. And I don't know, if I'm still alive in another 100 years, maybe we can run that canoe down the border and tell the world. But listen, my friend, the best to you. I mean it from the heart. I hope we can get together in a real show next time. And when we do, just remember, leave the rock gut sketch home. I'll take care of you, buddy, okay? I got to run, you guys.
Wow.
Thanks
Cliff,
so much.
Thanks very much, man. You know, I know you're when it comes to the camping world and you know, all that kind of stuff, you're a bit of a know-it-all. And you know what? That's greatly appreciated, because you know what? Somebody has to know something, because some of us don't know anything, right?
Let me just leave everybody with a thought here. And I think Kevin would totally agree with this. What happens is when you spend a lot of time in the bush and you come up against a lot of different obstacles, what you discover is that there are certain things that work a little bit, other things that work most of the time, and some things that work all the time. And when you go to places like the Boundary Waters Canoe area, the Allagash in Maine, you know, you can be pretty sloppy and survive. Yeah, people have died there. But you try that stuff on the Northern Canadian River, where help is an airplane ride away, and they're going to be bringing you back in a box, okay? So the point is, you learn what works, and you stand by it. Now, some people call this being opinionated. I have a better name for it. I call it wisdom. And that wisdom is born from things that don't work. And I mean, some of the examples we fight with all the time is this ground cloth inside the tent thing. Well, the truth is, people who don't do that have never been in a severe enough rain long enough where they understand why I do that. And then when you get into the bear thing too, where you see all these pictures of bears climbing trees, running up trees in the Smoky Mountains National Park, they actually overwinter. They make nests in trees. Yet people put their food in a tree. Why? Well, bears don't climb trees, I guess. So anyway, Kevin, happy birthday. I hope I get to see you for real next time. And remember, buddy, I'll bring the scotch.
Okay. Could you just imagine him and I at a campfire together? It's like... Oh, shit. Dennis, you notice what I'm wearing? I'm wearing a vest with fish on it, because I figure if Pine Martin was watching, that would be the only fish he would actually see this season.
So moving on, our next roaster, he's lost his fair share of dogs, horses, and pickup trucks. So many, in fact, he changed his songwriting style to sing about canoe-related topics like blue bandanas, rocks and roots, portaging. What's a portage? Yeah, all our American friends know what a portage is, right? Anyways, he enjoys surrounding himself with very talented musicians, like Kevin Callan on harmonica. Please welcome to the live stream country recording artist and songwriter, Mr. Jerry Vanderveer. How you doing, Jerry?
Howdy, howdy.
Kevin, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. You know, I just, is it not possible for Cliff to come up on any program and not say something about putting the liner inside the tent or talking about bears going up trees? It can't happen. He has to do it no matter where he is. Cliff, we love that. I hope you're still there.
Claim to fame right there, right?
Yeah. So Kevin, Kevin was a drummer in a band when you were in college, right, Kevin?
Well, he went beyond that, I still have a drum set. It's up in stairs. I kind of dust on it, whatever. But yes, I started in high school. I was actually, the first band I played in. I should never tell you this. It was a punk band, and its name was, sorry, but it's true, Santa's Syphilis. True story. It's a true story.
I didn't know that. I'm kind of glad I didn't know that until now, because I would not know how to introduce you sometime the next time we get up on stage. Here's the former drummer from Santa's Syphilis.
Yeah, I should never. I don't know why I told you that, but it's true story. It was a good band. I was it was all female. I was the only male.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We have a lot in common then, don't we?
Yeah, they chained me up on the drum just like the animal from the Muppets. It's actually
you had females chaining you up on a drum set.
They did.
That's a punk rock dream.
Yeah, and there's pictures of it in one of the yearbooks of my high school. There's a picture as well.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of our relationship, Dennis, is that whenever I've had the opportunity to get Kevin up on stage with me and my band, mostly of women, which is pretty similar then, is that Kevin's he's played a cowbell in a full cow suit with horns and an udder. I don't know how that's possible, but it happened. And then you were a dancing bear?
Yes.
You played the barrel bongos.
Yes, and I threw the drum set at the audience. Yep.
Yeah, you did that. Yeah, I was waiting for the lawsuits to happen after that one. And then you were the follow the bouncing loon. One time we were doing a sing along. You had the loon on your head, and I'm trying to remember some of the other things we've done. It's just been the
Rocks and Roots, I think, was classic.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I think the most embarrassing one was when your fiddler took the PFD off me.
Oh, that was the best. That's right. He sang a duet with my fiddle player, and there's a line in the song that says, "You know that you're safe with me, and you can take off that PFD." And she reached over and unbuttoned his PFD just at the right time in the right place. Classic moment. You can find it on YouTube. It's up there somewhere. I don't know if it's on my channel, on your channel, but yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I was beaten red.
So was I.
The funny thing about that cow outfit that Kevin actually had on, I think that was the best piece of clothing he actually had with him, right?
Now see, I want to know how he got that across the border without getting inspected.
Well, I was fine with that, but seriously, like, it's a true story. The gorilla mask, the bear mask,
yeah.
It got me pulled off and searched going to the States, but on the way back, I got searched again. But it was in Madison, in a smaller airport. They found it funny, but on the way to Canoecopia, it was brutal. Like I was bodily searched. Because of that bloody mask, you son of a.
Well, for good reason, though. Kevin, the punk beat Canoehound. I like that. So, Kevin, rather than a story, I've got a song for you. Brand new.
Oh, this is awesome!
And maybe sometime we could do this live together. And by the way, that's the one thing, you mentioned the blues harmonica there, Dennis. That we were ready to play that 2 years ago at Canoecopia, and then of course everything got canceled. We did get a little rehearsal though in Toronto about a month earlier, if I recall. I don't remember the name of it.
That was hilarious.
It was so much fun. What was the name of that place we hung out in?
It was a strip club.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the club. Camper Christina might remember the name of it.
Yeah, Camper.
It was after the Toronto Outdoor Adventure Show. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So we got some rehearsal time in there, and then of course we couldn't do it, and then we.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's great.
It was Julie, I think, said put your hat back on, and now it's stuck. Sorry, go ahead, keep going.
Anyway, well, so then we were planning on doing it the next year, or no, we were going to try to do it virtually, but couldn't pull that off. And then I was kind of hoping that we were going to be able to do it this year at Canoe Cove, but that's not going to happen. So someday Kevin's going to be able to get up on stage with me and the band and play blues harmonica. And by the time that happens, he's going to be rocking it, I'm sure, because you've been practicing all the time. Is that not right?
I actually have.
Yeah.
Suck and blow,
Okay.
Kevin. Suck and blow.
I didn't say that.
Wait a minute.
So, Kevin, I already
Happy shoes
apologized
on,
to
everybody.
Christine. I put Christine in this song. So, Christine, I hope you're listening backstage. Now we know he's not in it for the money. That couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. Well, personally, I find that really funny, that you could make a buck paddling a canoe. Kevin Callan drinks whiskey by the gallon, should be on Jimmy Fallon. It's hard to rhyme with Callan, but let's all raise our glasses to everyone's favorite happy camper, the one and only Kevin Callan. Now we all love the stories that he tells us, even if some have some exaggerations. But real or not, what he always gives us is 150 proof inspiration. Kevin Callan drinks whiskey by the gallon. Christine says he's a stallion. That's a bad rhyme with Callan. But let's all raise our glasses to everyone's favorite happy camper. Happy birthday, Kevin Callan. Yes, happy birthday. We hope you have at least one more. Happy birthday, Kevin Callan.
Woo! Everybody, let's see some clap emojis over there in the chat. Yeah, by all means.
That was awesome.
Let's make a CD. We'll put it out as a single and see how it does on
Oh,
Canadian
we'll sell
radio.
thousands. We'll sell thousands, Jerry.
Yeah,
Jerry, you know the best part of that song? You didn't
that?
lose a dog, you didn't lose a horse, and you didn't lose your pickup truck.
I don't do country anymore. I made my money in country a long time ago. Now I get rid of that. I don't do that stuff anymore. Now I do canoeing.
So I've been asking everybody this tonight, Jerry. What's the allure of wanting to have Kevin Callan up on stage with you? In all reality,
You know what the allure is, because you never know what's going to happen. It is completely out of control the minute he's up on the stage, or even if he gets off the stage. Like when he started throwing those, I'm sure glad I made those rocks fake rocks, because if they were real rocks, we would all be in jail right now. I can tell you that. But yeah, you never know what he's going to do. I don't think Kevin knows what he's going to do either. He doesn't plan it out. It just like takes off. And so like I just kind of stand in the back and watch it unfold, and it's always way too much fun.
Oh, incredible.
I really do not know what I'm doing. I
believe that.
tried to think of what I should do on the way there.
And then that never happens.
No.
I can't honestly understand why you want him playing harmonica on stage, though.
Oh, you know, now you know what?
I've heard him on numerous.
Well, obviously, the real reason is because we know that he can't play it. Okay. And so that would be fun. And then who knows what he would do with it. But what's really happening is that over this period of time that we have not been able to get on stage and play harmonica, Kevin has actually gotten pretty good at it. And, you know, now I'm not going to, put him up there with the famous blues harmonica players of the world or anything, but he actually is getting pretty good at it. And if we ever get a chance to do it, he actually might disappoint the audience by being good this time. So it's hard to say, but I'm still planning on it. I know you have your harmonicas close at hand whenever you're traveling, Kevin.
It is funny when you say that, because I have been practicing, but I think you're right, because you've never asked me to play drums, you son of a gun.
Well, you did play the bongo.
Well, yeah, I banged my hands on a barrel and threw it at the audience. Yeah,
that was in rhythm and on time. That was
it was, yeah. But what was funny is that I think it's great that I don't know what the hell I'm doing on stage.
Especially when you were singing that duet with Ann when she took off your PFD. That was definitely
You can't make that stuff up.
No.
Or
Ann never told me she was going to do that. She just went with it.
Well, I had that reaction to women.
Yeah. That's why I got also, Christine in the song.
That's. I'm glad you did that. Actually, when I wore that cow outfit, remember it was people that won prizes to be up on stage with us, right?
That's right.
And the woman beside me, she pulled my udder. And I don't think her husband liked that at all. He gave me this look like, I'm going to kill you after the show, man.
Well, at least it was the udder and not something else.
Well, it was pretty close. So I think she's my first roadie.
I think I know which woman that is. I can put her in touch with you if you want.
Okay.
I have to ask something. Kevin, how
groupie,
close is one of your harmonicas?
Okay.
What about harmonicas?
Kevin, how close is one of your harmonicas?
It's in the... probably where my dog pooped. Should I go get it? Wait,
think you should go get it, Jerry?
Yeah, I don't know if we could do anything in sync, but we can try.
Oh, you know what? We've heard Kevin play. It doesn't matter. Does everybody want to hear Kevin play harmonica?
Wow. See, that sounds good.
All right. Let's
That's a lot better than 2 years ago.
Blue Bandana. Is that
oh my God!
Try it, Kevin.
I don't know. That it's been out cold. It's really cold. Oh my God, that's cold. Kind of cold.
All right, let's see here.
Seriously, we're doing a song.
I think everybody. I'm seeing people saying yes. I got thumbs up.
We're going to the 2 hour mark. We talked about this before.
Okay, so
we're going to an hour, 2.5 hours. This is worth it tonight.
All the people that are listening in now, that they, this is going to be not in sync. Okay, so Kevin's going to be what, half a second behind me or something like that.
Yeah, no, probably not even. I think we'll be pretty good.
Went to the store, bandana aisle, bright and blue, just my style. I've traveled the world in every season. That bandana is falling all to pieces. Got a trip coming up, and I don't know what to do. With the rough and ragged, holy and haggard, blue bandana blue. Went back to the store, took a look around, but no bandana could be found. Now this one hurts, I ain't gonna lie. I miss that bandana more than all my ex-wives. I got a trip coming up, and I don't know what to do. With the rough and ragged, holy and haggard, blue bandana blues. Here comes the time we're gonna do a Kevin Callan solo. 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
I think I just cut myself.
All right, give a big hand, Kevin Callan on the blues harp. He needs to go into some old blues clubs and play that. I got a trip coming up, and I don't know what to do. With haggard, blue bandana blue. Yeah, that rough and ragged, holy and haggard, jostled and jagged, totally tragic blue. Bandana blue. Don't let it happen to you. Big chord, Heaven.
If people don't know who you are out there, most of you do, but honestly, this guy has written songs for really famous people. But for us in the canoe community, you are famous.
Thank you, sir. I don't need to be famous. I'm just happy to be part of it all.
Wow, Kevin, how you holding up, man? You're a rock star almost.
I'm gonna fall down soon. I swear to God.
So on with the next roaster. You know what? I went through this little checklist. It's like pissing on a campfire. Check.
Oh no! Don't tell me.
Leaving trash around the campsite. Check. Cutting down live trees for firewood. Check. Pooping in the woods and leaving toilet paper roses all over the place. Check. I wouldn't follow the rules either if I had a hand up my ass all the time. Please welcome to the live stream. We got Gary the Puppet and...
Scott, I can't believe he's gone. Oh, I can't believe he's okay. He's in the cold, deep ground, and I know he was old,
very old,
and weak,
very weak,
drunk and foolish. But
yeah.
Wait a minute, Kevin, Callan, you're still alive. I thought this was an in memoriam, or I thought this was a pull the plug ceremony that was being called in for here. What the hell's going on?
Hi, Gary. Hi, Gary.
Yeah, look behind Callan there. I'm surprised you brandish that poster behind you. You flaunt it. Look at Dr. Nature. Hey, Dr. Nature, you fraud. You know, people think that you've been the happy camper, quote unquote, your entire life. No, a series of pseudonyms and false identities. Dr. Nature, watch the blood drain from his face because he doesn't want me to tell you why he's no longer Dr. Nature. Isn't that right, Callan?
Don't go there, Gary.
Nobody knows this, but Callan made the rounds today and stopped by a few places, including our office, to let me know exactly what I should and should not be talking about here. So it's going to be a short conversation. Rest assured.
What did he say, Gary?
Yeah, there's a little bit about Dr. Nature and the trail of death and destruction he left in his path. What's next? The prancing pirate? You gonna be a princess? I don't know. It's sad. What people will do to make a buck? You know? Yeah. What's going on?
Kevin's blushing.
Kevin's blushing.
Have you
hours into this?
Have you crafted any bush lately, Gary?
No comment. Brandy is waiting in the green room, so let's hurry this up. Okay? And what else? Adams.
Oh, man, so much.
So many stories. One of my favorites is doing the Toronto Outdoor Show with Mr. Callan. Well, do you remember signing books there, Mr. Callan? With me, singing to you, serenading you while there was no one lining up for you to sign their book. And I was consoling you. Those were dark days. But then you added a character to your channel. A puppet, shall we say. And things seem to turn around for you. All of a sudden, there's big celebrations in your honor here. Yeah, coincidence? And keep in mind that they couldn't find 8 human beings to come and say nice things about you, or bad things about you, by the way. They had to bring in a puppet to fill in the roster. Sad.
But Gary, you and I have had some good and bad feelings when we're out in the woods. But you've taught people some really good things, like what not to do out there, Gary.
That's true. Yeah, by pointing out your foibles, your shortcomings. Yes, that's right. I am an educator.
Well, I did have to pull you out of the ice. Like you fell through the ice at this place. Remember that?
My heart will go on, Kevin. Yes, I remember it well.
Yeah, like you said the ice was safe and it wasn't, and I had to save you. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
Gary,
you, Kevin.
what was the best thing you ever taught Kevin?
The best thing I ever taught Kevin. It's not humility. That's not his strong point. I have no idea because all of our videos seem to be rather pointless. But he just brings me in for eye candy.
Eye candy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a time you wore a Speedo for him?
Sorry?
Wasn't there a time you wore a Speedo for Kevin, or was that just a thong?
What? In one of our last videos, he knows when the ratings are dipping. Then he gets me to strip nude. Remember the inspect for ticks scene there, right, Kevin?
It's all you.
Oh, yeah. You took a real thorough look for ticks, that's for sure. That was ours. Yeah, after the shoot. Yeah, let's not go into that right now.
I'm really quite fascinated how a puppet used to not have nipples and hair on his chest, and now you do. When did that happen?
there are changes that happen in a boy's life, Kevin. Do you not know? I mean, like, really, yeah, things. I matured somewhat, as you know thoroughly.
And Gary, do you remember the time when the Peterborough Police hired you to actually teach young kids and how to be proper, and then you only lasted 1 or 2 gigs, and they never asked you back?
Yeah, that did not go well. That's true. Those were some hard times, but I bounced back, Kevin. But thanks for pointing that out. Are we roasting me? Okay. I think we got to cut this short. You know, this has gone on too long. Nobody has the patience for this. I'm out of here. Which way? Oh yeah, that way.
Jay Scott, did we upset Gary?
Yeah, it happens. It's okay. We got lots of green M&Ms back there for him. He'll be fine.
I see you donning a Mr. Nature poster and behind you there as well.
Represent.
I've told Gary way too many Dr. Nature stories.
Yes.
Well, what can you guys tell me about this crafting of bush?
Whoa.
Anybody? Gary, you want to share some crafting of bush stories? Oh, wow. I think we really pissed him off. You know what? The talent, he's going back for his green M&Ms. So
yeah,
that's all right.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of clapping to get that guy back here.
Yeah. Come on, people. Let's see some hands in the chat over there.
Hey, there it is.
That didn't take much.
Thanks, Gary.
Did you have to go piss on a fire?
Dixie cup or something.
Ugh. That's an unsavory story. The Dixie cup. Yeah, I've seen too much of that.
Mm-hmm.
So Gary, you've had a few experiences with Kevin here in the past, or in the recent past. Some really cool Christmas videos and stuff like that. What would you say is your most memorable moment with Kevin Callan, besides looking for ticks all over your body?
My most memorable moment. Scott, what's your favorite Gary Kevin moment?
Oh, probably the Ouija board. That was fun.
Oh, no, it wasn't. No, that was evil. No.
Kevin Callan went all demonic.
Yeah.
That's right.
No.
Dragged me through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, smash your head with a paddle.
Smash my head with a paddle. Yeah,
It
he's
was
a real gentleman of the woods, isn't he? Yeah, that's right.
Yep. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I did throw you out in the snow when you came to the Christmas party unannounced and uninvited.
The Christmas party, that was good. Yeah.
That was a pleasant memory as well.
Yeah.
You know what? I always get painted as the bad guy and listen to all these stories. It's often me being abused at the hands of Callan.
You did walk past the Christmas tree naked, Gary. That's why you got thrown out of the party.
I told you, I'm a passionate paddler.
He almost choked on that one, Kevin.
I enjoyed the woods au natural.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Right. Have you had enough?
We've had enough. Gary, thanks very much for joining us.
I love you,
know
Kevin.
you really
Happy
love
birthday.
Kevin Callan. Well, Kevin, we're down to our last roaster of the evening. It's been a really fun time here. But you know what? Without further ado, let's get on with this and ease the pain a little bit for you. Our final roaster of the evening is a lovely lady who loves her dog, Oliver. She also has a very special place in her heart for Kevin. And she clearly loves Kevin's wardrobe choices because she dresses her dog in Kevin's clothing. And Kevin, I must really admit that the clothes that you wear look much better on Oliver than on you. Yeah. So anyways, please welcome to the live stream the better half of Kevin Callan, Christine Redmond. Christine, how are you doing tonight, hon?
I'm great, Dennis. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. Well, you know what? Somebody has to touch on the softer side of Kevin Callan, and who better than yourself?
Okay. Yeah. And I was very excited to be here when I heard that Gary was going to be here tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Even though he has new nipples. Kind of funny, right?
I've seen Gary's nipples, but we're not going to talk about that tonight.
Do I need to bring Gary back up on screen again?
Maybe later. Later in the green room.
Okay.
How are you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing good. So do you have a puke bucket beside you? Because you said you're so nervous to be on tonight.
Everybody has fancy props like books and stuff. So I have, this isn't my forte, being in front of the camera here. So I've got my puke bucket. But I do have my popcorn, and I have my wine, which is the bottle is kind of empty at this point. Kevin bought me this wine, actually.
Yeah, like yesterday.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah. It's got his pajamas on it.
It looks like Kevin, no?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, that's what I thought. So, Kevin, what I wanted to share with you tonight is we all know that you're a very famous writer, but I can write as well. I don't think you realize that I can write things also. Okay, so what I'm sharing tonight is some poems that I've written for you. Okay, and I spent a lot of time today doing this, so you're going to like them. Okay, and they're all romantic and very from my heart. And I just thought you might, need some loving after tonight. So I've written some nice poems for you. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to like them?
Okay.
Okay, here we go. There's a few of them. And I didn't plagiarize at all. Not at all. Ready? Roses are red. Violets are blue. Poems are hard. You're old. You like that one? Okay. That was the first one. That was my first try. Okay. They get better. This one's better, I promise.
Okay.
Roses are red. Violets are blue. My poems suck, but I'm younger than you.
Oh.
I can write things too. Here we go. Couple more. I'm on a roll. Okay. Roses are red. Violets are blue. The dog is my favorite, but you're okay too.
Oh.
Can you handle a couple more?
Yeah.
Are you feeling the love?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad I met you.
Okay, here we go. Roses are red. Violets are blue. Your best position is stern in canoe. Are you writing these down, Kevin?
No, but there was a bit of a pause there from.
Okay. We're almost at the end. I know it's painful. I know. Roses are red. Who cares? Drink scotch. Okay, one more. One more. You feeling the love yet, Kevin?
Oh, yep, big time. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Roses are red. Violets are blue. You make the world better by just being you.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Kevin. We love you and we appreciate you. And you just get better every year. Cheers to you.
Cheers. Love you.
Cheers to that. Whoa, I keep the lovebirds beside each other here. There we go. Christine, you are quite the poet. You're
Thank
a
you.
poet and didn't know it, right?
I had no idea.
Yeah. That's
if
like
there's
your
any,
cousin
like-
Rose tribute to Kevin, right?
If there's any publishers out there,
Kevin, give her advice on that.
Yeah.
Self-publish. Start with PDFs. Christine, thank you very much. I have to ask. You've been with Kevin now for quite a few years, and
yeah,
your sense of humor when you're back in backcountry camping situations, and whether there or maybe in your kitchen while you're cooking, how does Kevin really make you feel when he puts you into these awkward moments? Kevin, you said you wouldn't do this. Kevin, I said no.
Well, usually there's like a second of irritation sometimes, like not always if he puts me on the spot. But you know what? Honestly, like Kevin is such a joy to be around. And I say that seriously because he's just so much fun. And honestly, it's just fun. Like I'm privileged really to have met him and to have him in my life. And what else can I say? I mean,
Yep. Well, you know what? I can honestly say that he is an inspiration to many, but I don't think many people will share a sleeping bag made for two with him. That's, yeah.
And you should not. You shouldn't.
No. But you know what? Continue dressing Oliver in his clothes because, like I say, Oliver looks cute as hell. And Kevin, let her dog be cold. That's all good. Christine, thanks very much. You know what? I am so happy that you actually came on the show. We've met on a couple of occasions, and I was really hoping to have you on the show at one time or another, and there couldn't be a better situation to have you on the show than tonight. So thanks very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Dennis. Happy to be here.
Yeah, hanging around with one hyper anxious kid, I tell you. But we have a good time out there, and you have a good heart. So it's fantastic.
Awesome. Alrighty. Oh, was that from me or Kevin? Well, Kevin, you know what? I think you got the best of the best from 9 individuals that either are close acquaintances, friends, or just like family to you. And I can honestly say that over the last couple of seasons that I've actually gotten to know you here on Canoehound's Outdoor Adventure Show. There's not many people that I actually put together an introduction for, or that I would consider doing a roast like this. But you, my friend, even though we don't see each other very often, other than right here on this platform, consider you a huge friend and somebody that I could contact and reach out to. Heck, you even helped me with my canoe trip this summer via Skype. We sat down and you shared a whole bunch of information with me and my buddies. And you know what? That's just the kind of guy that Kevin Callan really is. He may be a quirky guy, the way he carries on. I'm sure he has a serious side as well. But you know what? It seems to me that Kevin would step out on a limb for anybody and do the right thing and help out or give whatever he can. It's clearly visible with the things that he does just by what you see going across the screen right now. He said he wanted to do this, but only if it had a purpose. And I think that's a good thing that we could say about you, Kevin, is you do have a heart of gold. Thank you very much for all that you do for this paddling community.
Well, thanks a lot, Dennis. And I had a blast in it. I hope everybody did as well. And I got to say, I have some amazing friends, and amazing partner. I know that every day, but then there's days when you get reminded of that. But also all the people out there, the whole audience, just enjoying it and being connected and actually wanting to do something to help out the canoe community. I think it's fantastic. I think that's why I've always wanted to be part of all this, because there's a lot of negative in the world, but there's so much positive. And we got to wrap this up because my dog has to poop again.
Yes, and it's going right through. Anyways, I just want to thank you.
She's at the door looking at me like, what the heck?
Yeah.